you help with your coding assignment. I believe now in Module 7, uh, you need to you need to use functions, and you need to have your rooms and your items all working so that a player can navigate from room to room, find and collect items into their inventory. So let's take a look now. I sent you some code a couple of weeks ago and a little brief video with it, stepping through just a portion of it um, to show you the debugger. And that code was probably a little more complicated than you need right now. So, but my hope was that you would just go through that code, find things you could use, and adapt it to what you're doing. Hopefully, you were able to do that. But just in case that was too much, I want to start a little simpler with this one, just to make sure, because we're in the home stretch here, and I want to make sure everybody's comfortable with this. So what I want to do first is show you how you might have done it, say in Module 6, when I think in Module 6 you weren't required to use functions or methods, as they're called in some languages. Um, Here, I think at Python, it's probably functions. Um, Anyway, so here's an example with no functions. Everything's just inline in one script file. Notice there's no class definition here. It's just a straight script, and so it's going to start running from the top. So we have a dictionary here with all of your rooms. We don't have any items here yet. And then we have a variable that holds the current room to start with. Your current room is going to change as you interact with it. But it's going to start out in the Great Hall. And then it's going to print some outputs here. Print Dragon Text Adventure Game, print move commands, just to inform the player how the game works a little bit. And then it's going to go into a loop while true. Now the break will break you out of the loop, and then it'll come down here. And remember, this is Python, so everything that's indented here to the right of the while true, everything that's indented under that, you're in the loop until you break that indentation and come here. So here, this is outside the loop. This else, print, invalid move, that's all inside the loop. It's in many languages you would have a pair of curly braces opening and closing that would define your code block, which in that case would be the code block defining your loop contents. But here we don't have that in Python. We just use indentation. And so in Python, indentation is very important, because if you don't follow proper indentation and make it consistent, it's actually a syntax error. In many languages where you have other ways to define code blocks, it's bad form, certainly, not to follow proper indentation, but the compiler is not going to care. The person maintaining your code is going to care, but not the compiler. But this is good. This is very good language to start with, because it forces you to properly indent your code so that it's highly readable, and so that's something you are going to always want to do. So anyway, if current room is exit, we break out of the loop. The break is going to move us all the way down to here, and we'll be exiting the game. Otherwise, it's going to continue in the loop and print this output until you tell the player what room they're in, and then it's going to ask for some input. Then it's going to put the contents, whatever the player types in response to this request for input. Whatever the player types in is going to be stored in this variable. It's going to be a string, and then we're going to split that string. Now, split, if you aren't familiar with it, it's an extremely handy function to have. And by the way, when I said there were no functions here, we're not implementing any functions here. We're certainly using them. It would be very difficult not to. But we didn't write any new functions for this code. So we're going to split the string, the inputted string, into an array. So the space, of course, is a character. When you hit the space bar, it puts an actual character in there that just looks like an empty space. So when you call split, it's going to, whatever special character you tell it to split on, and if we don't tell it anything and it's space delimited, then it's going to split on that space if you don't pass in any argument. And we're going to, every time it encounters that special character, in this case the space, it's going to create a new element in the array. And of course, everything to the left of the special character will go into that element. So if we type in go south, and then we split the string go south into an array, we're going to have two elements in the array. One is going to be a string go, the other one's going to be a string south. And so then move element 0 would be go. So if element 0, remember this is all 0 based. If you're new to coding, that may seem strange, but you get very comfortable with that very quickly. So element 0 is going to be go. So if element 0 is go, then you're going to check element 1 of move to see if it is one of the rooms. And then we're going to reset current room. And if it's not in our rooms dictionary, then it's going to tell you you can't go that way. Well, that's right. We're typing in directions, not room names. Let me back up a minute. So if move 1 in rooms, current room, so rooms, current room, remember our dictionary here, rooms, current room is Great Hall, so rooms, current room would return this. So this is, remember this dictionary is a key value pair, a set of key value pairs. So we're going to send in the key, which is Great Hall, because that's the current room. And it's going to return this. Which, by the way, is another key value pair. South, bedroom. So you see this colon here separates the key from the value. Now our value is another key value pair, and this could go as deep as you wanted. This could be a key value pair, but it isn't. So we type in go south. So here element 0 is go, element 1 is south. So room's current room is going to return south bedroom. And so so this is going to return true because south is in the return value of in the value of this room's key. Then so if rooms, so current rooms, you'll see what we've done. Rooms, current room, move 1. So room's current room is south bedroom. I believe it's bedroom. Yes. So room's current room, south, would return bedroom. And you'll be able to step through and see all of this. And so we're going to put bedroom in current room. And then if south is not in current room, so you see here in bedroom we've got 2 possibilities, north and east. Here we just had 1. So if you're in the Great Hall and you type in go north, it's going to tell you you can't go that way because north is not in this return value. So, and then if move 0 is not go, then we're going to check and see if it says exit. If it says exit, we're going to set the current room to exit. So the next time through the loop, which would be immediately, it's going to check current room exit, and then it's going to break, and you're out of the game. Thanks for playing. Now, if you don't type in go and you don't type in exit, then it's just going to tell you that it's an invalid move. So the player either has to type in go followed by some direction, north, south, east, or west, or has to type in exit. Otherwise, it's just going to tell you invalid move. and then it's going to come back up here and ask you again, tell you where you are, ask you again to make a move. So that's it. That's very simple. Implementation. So let's run it and see what happens. Here we are, Dragon Text Adventure Game, move commands, go south, go north, go east, go west, and exit. Those are the only options. So let's type in go back. And it's going to tell me I can't go that way. It's not simply going to say invalid move because I did type in go first. So that puts it in a different path. That puts it in this path right here. And so if I had not typed in go first, then it would have checked to see if I typed in exit. If not, then it would have said invalid move. So it says, you can't go that way, so it's asking again. So let's go, try going north. And of course, we can't go that way, because remember, if we're in the Great Hall, we can only go south. So let's do that. Okay, and remember, go south. So it says now we're in the bedroom, because south returned this value, bedroom, and that's what got set to the current room. So now let's go. In the bedroom, we can either go north or east. So we don't want to go back north. We just came from there. So we want to go east. So now we're in the cellar. Enter your move. Okay, well this is a simple example. So we're pretty much done here. We could go west, we're back in the bedroom. North, we're back in the Great Hall. So we could either go out the front door by going back to the Great Hall, or we could just exit here, and we're done. So that's this game, this example. So now let's take a look at one that has some functions. So these are functions. This one, show instructions, show status, and then we have a main function. So this is very similar to what we had before. We still have a dictionary of rooms, key value pairs. Great Hall is the current room initially. Then we do show instructions. So instead of showing the instructions up front here, we call a method, a function that shows the instructions. And that way, you see, that makes this code reusable. You may want to show the instructions on demand somehow, like have a check for an input from the user that says show instructions, and then you could just show this over and over. You don't have to have it typed in multiple places in your code. So reusability is a big thing. So show instructions. Then we once again we have the while true loop, and we check for exit. So this is basically the same thing we did without functions. It's just that this time we broke some of the code out into functions. Show status. It's just going to show you the current room, as opposed to doing it in line here. Otherwise, this is pretty much the same code. So let's move on over to the next one. Now this is a more complete implementation, more like what you need to do for Module 7. We have functions, of course, show instructions, and we have show status. And here we have a main with a rooms dictionary, key value pairs, of course. And these are, you see, we have, in addition to just directions, here we have, in some of the rooms, we have an item. So this, if you're in, whatever your current room is, let's say it's dungeon, if you ask for dungeon, open square brackets, item, so rooms, current room, item, and then it's going to return the value associated with this key. The key is item. Here the value is armor. Here the value is sword. Here it's helmet. And so it's going to show you, you know, when somebody navigates to a room, then we're going to where is that? Yeah, we're gonna get the item and show the person the item. And where do we do that? Up here in show status. So every time someone moves to another room, we're going to print out the current room, and we're going to print what the person has in, the player has in their inventory. And then if the room contains an item, we're going to tell the person, the player, what item they see in that room. So let's see, show status. So at the top of the loop, every time we're going to show the status. And if the item is the dragon, game over. And let's see, if the person has all 6 items in their inventory, then the game is over with a congratulations, you won. If you don't see that, then you didn't have all 6 items, and it's just game over. So then if it's not game over, then we're going to continue in the loop, ask for some input for a move, the directions, go north, go south, east, west, etc. Split that, as I described earlier, into an array. And here we've added some additional logic. We're going to check after they should have entered go and then a direction. Once we split the string into an array, if the array is not equal to 2, which would be simply go, the word go, and then the word north, south, east, or west. If it's not 2 exactly, then it's invalid input, and we continue, and continue means you go back to the top of the loop and come back around, ask for input again. So then if it is 2 and move sub-0 is go, and just like you saw in the previous example, we're going to find the current room and set it here. Else, if it's not a valid, if it's not a direction that's associated with that room, in other words, if from that room you can't get anywhere else by going the direction they typed in, then it's just going to say you can't go that way. Or as we saw earlier, I typed in go back. So anything you type in that's not a direction that's available from inside that room, it's just going to say you can't go that way. So if move 0 is not go, I'm sorry, if move sub-0 is get, so now that we've added items and you can stock your inventory, we've added, you can type in either go some direction or get the item. So remember, up in show status, we're going to show the player the name of the item in the room. So then you would just say get and name that item, and then it would go into your inventory. So that's it. That's fairly simple. So the only thing we added to this implementation that wasn't in the earlier one was we added another key value pair to the value of each room, and that key value pair is item : item name. Item name. It's just another key value pair within the value of the room. So all of this in the curly braces is the value associated with this key, and that key is the room name. So that's a dictionary. Very, very powerful data structure. You'll be using those a lot. So let's run this. So we're in the Great Hall. Inventory is empty, and being in the Great Hall, there are no items, so it's not going to show us an item. So let's see, where can we go in the Great Hall. We can go in just about any direction and get somewhere. So let's go south into the bedroom first. And here, we still don't have any inventory personally yet, but in the room we see armor. So let's type in get armor. So now we have armor in our inventory. You see armor retrieved, print, move one retrieved, move one being, remember move 0, since we split get armor into an array, move 0 would be get, move 1 would be armor. So armor retrieved. And also we're going to delete that key value pair from our dictionary. Now, obviously the code is still the same, but when you start up the game in your program space, it loads up that dictionary in memory. So now, until you stop and restart the game, after you issue this delete commands, and let's take a look at that. We'll use the debugger to demonstrate that. But in memory now, the bedroom no longer has an item because you have it in your inventory. So let's stop this and let's debug it and pay no attention to this errors. That's just because I killed it instead of letting it. I should have exited gracefully by typing in exit. So let's debug. Now let's set a breakpoint right here. Notice now that we're debugging, we can see inside our variables. So enter our move, and remember, I may have said this before, but when you're in debug mode, you have to be very careful as you're typing in your commands, because the console, some sort of IntelliSense is going to try and spell check and correct your input for you. So if you just type it in and hit enter without double checking to make sure that hasn't happened, you may get some strange results and even crash your program. So let's say go south. Yeah, see what happened. It added all of that, and it changed south to source. If someone figures out a way to stop this from happening, please let me know. Okay, so you're in the bedroom. No inventory yet, but you see armor. This could be a little cleaner. You see a armor. You may not want to do that. So let's say get armor. Okay, so now we're stopped here at the breakpoint, and we still have you see the bedroom still shows armor. But now let's you see what happened. We continued we executed this delete item from the current room, and now the bedroom no longer has an item because it's in our inventory. Now obviously in the source code, the bedroom still has an item, but in memory the item is gone, which is perfect. I mean, that's what we want. So really, that's all I wanted to show you with the debugger for now. But yeah, get comfortable with the debugger. It's quite a useful thing. So let me type in exit now, and we'll get out of here. Maybe it's not just exit anymore. I guess we don't have the exit here. I forgot about that. So let us just stop it. Okay, I hope this helps you. Yeah, please let me know as soon as, I mean, if you get stuck on something and it's just, you can't figure it out within a day or so. I mean, you need to struggle a little bit. You know, we all do that. I struggled for many years. I still do from time to time. So let me know, and I'll help you. I want to see everybody do well, and if you're behind in some assignments, please get those in. We're in the final stretch here. If you get me everything, all your assignments before the last day of the term, and I'll be happy to grade it for you and give you credit, and you'll do fine. Now, remember, I keep telling you about those Z-book readings. Please don't leave any question marked incorrectly as you go from module to module. And of course, if you do, now you can go back and open up the reading again and find those that are incorrect and read the feedback and correct them. But if you leave them in that state with incorrect answers, that can significantly lower your final grade. I had a student a few terms back who all of his work, the coding, all the submissions, 100%, but the Z-book readings were incomplete, and of course, as soon as you touch it, as soon as you open it up, and if you close that reading and leave it, then it's going to go ahead and grade what you've done. And if what you've done was one question, or even if you didn't do any questions yet, then it's going to put a 0. And if you don't go back and fix that, that 0 is going to stick, and it's going to be factored into your final grade. And that's not me doing that. That's just the way it's set up. I have no way to fix that for you. If I could, well, I don't know if I could do it in good conscience, but anyway, you need to do those Z-book readings, and the whole purpose is to, if you don't get it right the first time, read the feedback and mark it correctly, because in doing so, you've learned the answer, and that's the whole purpose. Those quizzes and the ZBook readings are not there to evaluate you. They're there to teach you. So take advantage of that. It's not a test or anything like that. It's just an interactive way for you to learn the correct answers. So be sure and take advantage of that. Make sure by the end of the term you have all of those ZBook reading questions marked correctly. And if you need anything else, please let me know, and I'll see you next week.